Good morning. I'm Mitch Rosenfield, and you've reached my YouTube channel, Free from Pain, where I share the practices I've been using to free myself from the chronic pain of injury, illness, and the general wear and tear of life. So for today's video, we're going to talk about alignment of the feet. And one of the things I've learned in my practice of Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga is that more important than anything else, as far as more important than doing exercises or anything else, is how you align your body. And it begins with the feet, how your feet are in contact with the floor. So for this, let's go ahead and bring particular attention to the feet. So I have the camera pointed down towards my feet so you can see what I'm talking about. So as we've talked about in other videos, the first thing is to keep your feet about hip width apart when you're standing. And again, the alignment of your feet affects how your feet feel throughout the day. If they cramp, if your legs cramp, then it ends up going into your back. And so it all begins with the alignment of the feet as far as correcting yourself to get rid of pain. So have your feet parallel. And by parallel, I mean imagine railroad tracks right underneath your feet that are parallel. And you want your feet right on those tracks where they're going through the center of your feet. So it's almost a pigeon toe type stance, where your heels are slightly kicked out, your toes are slightly pointed in, but your feet are parallel. And now we want to make sure that our weight is even between both feet. So instead of having all your weight on one foot or all your weight on the other, to really align your feet, we'll work with shifting weight, but for now let's get our weight even between our feet. And one of the ways we help create good alignment in our feet is to be aware of how our hips are. So we want our hips to be level, not tilted or tipped. When you end up getting tilted or tipped, you get out of alignment, you can lose your balance. So keep your hips level, parallel to the floor. And so now, feel your weight sink into the ground, knees slightly bent, tailbone relaxed down, stomach drawn in, and become aware of how your feet are contacting the floor, every way in which they feel. And again, the weight is centered between the feet. And now take a moment and look at your toes. Your toes should be pointing straight out, and the way you can make sure that happens is to be aware of your ankles. So if your ankles are starting to tip in, collapse inward, then your toes are going to start pointing in the wrong direction. So bring your ankles up and make sure your ankles are directly over the center of your heels. That's critical to the alignment of your feet, to having your feet not hurt, is having your ankles right over the center of your heels. And now check your alignment, make sure your toes are pointing straight, same direction as those railroad tracks. Your ankles are up over the heels. And now from this position, start to bring your weight slightly into the balls of your feet, towards your toes, and open your toes, let them stretch out. And let your weight slightly come off your heels. Don't lift your heels off the ground. Just bring your weight into the balls of your feet. And then as you do that, feel the tension in the front of your legs start to form. Just from leaning into it, feel as though there's like a sheath coming up that you're pressing against with your legs. So you feel how pressing into your balls of your feet, into your toes, creates that natural tension coming up through the front of your legs all the way up to your lower abdomen. Now center back into the center of your feet. Bring your weight back into the center. And now, without tilting back or tipping back, just let your weight sink into your heels. Bring the weight off the balls of the feet. And let them just slightly release all the weight without coming up off the floor so you don't tip or fall backwards. Just sink your weight into your heels and become aware of how that feels, of the tension coming up the back of your legs from your calves, up to the upper legs, into your rear, even into your lower back, how you can feel like a sheath stopping you from falling backwards, holding you firmly in place. Now come back to the center. And now allow your weight to press to the outsides of your feet. So bring your ankles up a little bit more and feel the weight push into the outside of your feet. And as you do that, feel those sheaths coming up the outsides of your legs, all the way up to your sides. Get a sense of that. And now release back to center. And now the same thing, without letting your ankles drop, bring the weight to the inside of your feet taking it off the outside of your feet, and feel the sheath coming up the inside of your legs, right to the center of your body. And just hold there for a moment and feel that tension inside your legs. And now release back to center. And now stretch your toes out, open your feet, keeping them aligned, ankles up over the heels, in the middle of the heels, and let all your weight spread out throughout your feet. Be completely evenly distributed out throughout the bottom of your feet. And feel that stability, feel that support coming up all sides of your legs, holding you firmly in place. Whole body breathing. And now, if we want to talk about shifting the weight from one leg to the other and still maintaining the stability and alignment, it's simply about keeping your hips level, and then like glasses of water, one pouring the weight into the other, bring all your weight over to one foot and let all the weight sink with your ankles still aligned over the center, knees slightly bent, hips level, and get all the weight there. And how do you know if all the weight's there? Is because if I lift this leg, I don't find myself losing balance. I can support myself. My other leg is empty, one leg is full. I can begin to test that by posting up onto the ball of my foot and then releasing. Set this foot down. Get that parallel position before you put any weight in it. Check the alignment. Come back to center, where weight's evenly centered, hips are parallel to the floor. And now, like a glass of water, pour all the weight into the other leg, keeping your hips level, ankle over the heel. Bring all the weight there. Test your weight, that it's not still partially in the empty leg, and that you don't tip and turn when you post. And then release. Come back down. Bring the weight to center. And just relax here and feel all your weight sinking down into the floor, through your feet like stakes, posting down into the ground, holding you firmly in place. The alignment is so important to the body, and by aligning the feet, it starts to affect everything coming up and can help you stay pain-free throughout the day. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll have more coming up. If you like this, please hit like. If you know someone that could benefit from this, hit share. And if you want to see more, click on the links below or subscribe to my channel. Until next time, from a place of love, I wish you peace.